Hi everyone, welcome to our landing page for our Google AdWords training. I'm here today with Matt Trim, my colleague, who does some Google Analytics training in parallel with the courses that I run on Google AdWords. So we're here today just to give you a flavour for what the courses are all about and some of the content that's covered in those, just to try and help you decide which days will suit you best and which days are most appropriate for you to book on.
Yeah, so there's 4 days of AdWords training, Sharron. Lots of a big system. It generates a lot of Google revenue, so it's a very complex system. Very powerful for marketeers. There's nothing really like search, for getting response. 4 days, slightly a little bit weird in the way that we display them because we do the advanced stuff first and then the basic stuff second. That's deliberate, isn't it? So that people can attend analytics and then AdWords if they so
Yeah, we had
wish.
a few people saying, have you got that right in terms of the way you've got the day spread? But with Google AdWords, the way it works, to be able to start from the introductory days and go through to the advanced days would be really far too much to do in one.
You just wouldn't have enough experience, yeah?
No, you just need to go away and implement some of the ideas that you learn on the first days and make sure you get some real data, some real results that you understand, and then come back and on a later session to do the advanced course and learn that. So that's why we structure it that way.
Okay, and so if you're a beginner, you're going to start on 101 effectively, and do you need an account? Do you not need an account?
We have a mixture. I mean, some people don't even have an account, so that's not a problem. I go through how to set up an account, take your first AdWords account, and then if you don't put any credit card details on that, you can play away in that and really start to understand and set things up. Nothing's going to accidentally start running. Other times we have people who already have an AdWords account, maybe they've tried and not set things up quite as they should.
And you told me stories where within a couple of hours they begin to see where they're losing money.
That's right. Some people have been, once they start to understand some of the numbers, some of the metrics that are available and the different ways that they can segment that, then they start to realise how and where they're spending their money and realising it wasn't necessarily being spent in the areas that they thought it was. So they can then take steps to
tweak that, change it,
make changes in the areas that are working better, let those develop.
And so the action plan on day one is actually a working AdWords account or an improved AdWords account, whichever way you want to work.
That's right. People will come away with an AdWords account with several campaigns set up in it ready. Obviously those campaigns will need development, but they've got the structure there, the basic structure of a couple of good working campaigns that they can then run and
move
see
on
some
to
results. 201
then, so day 2 of the introductory, the fundamental courses.
Yeah, that just kind of takes it a step further. So now that people are becoming familiar with the interface, we kind of move on to some of the advanced techniques and settings you can use. So we've got different ways you can identify the keywords to trigger your ads, and some different tools. And we also start to explore the display network.
Which can really complement a search campaign.
It is. It's kind of a huge topic in its own right as the Google Display Network. Google have made a lot of changes and improvements in that area recently. So really starting to understand how you can use that, what it means.
So this is text ads, banner ads, video ads even, all of those combinations to
looking and understanding how people interact with the display network and how that can lead and kind of benefit some of the search campaigns you have. You can have uplift in traffic in your search campaigns as a result of people finding out about you from the display network. So that whole interaction between the two types of networks and how they work together.
And the people that attend day 1 and 2, we find there could be business owners who use AdWords as a powerful channel. They could be agency people. They could be people who are managing AdWords. So it's a mix, isn't it? Really?
It is. Sometimes it's people who they've got their own business. They said they want to run something themselves in-house. Sometimes it's people who work with agencies, but they just want to understand
what the
things
agencies
better
do,
and get a better understanding and just speak the same terminology and see how they can work better together. So a whole kind of range of people, definitely.
So moving on to the advanced days, 301, 302, generally booked as a pair, really. I think that would be best benefit.
Really, the two do kind of work well together. So the first advanced day, the AdWords 301 course, is all about some of the advanced optimization techniques. So some of the different settings that you can have, different bidding options you have, and to make best use of those. And another very important topic we explore on that day is remarketing. So remarketing campaigns are a great way of re-advertising, and that if they're set up properly, they can be very, very profitable campaigns. But it's all about understanding them, how to best group and target the different groups of people who have already visited your site and giving them the right message. So we explore that in terms of remarketing purely from an AdWords point of view, because you can set up remarketing just in AdWords. But we also show the new way of doing it using
in
the
analytics,
features in Google Analytics.
Google Analytics, so very powerful. So building segments based on site behaviour into AdWords remarketing. So again, you cover that.
That's right, and you've just got more options as to how you can identify people. So people who have more of an interest, if they spend a certain amount of time on your site or visited more than X number of
or
pages,
got to the basket and never checked
they're
out
a more
or something.
qualified visitor than someone who hit your homepage and left, etc.
Exactly.
So making use of those features.
Very, very powerful. And you're doing this. Explains a bit more about the optimization that you're doing. Are you doing any sort of A/B testing, that sort of thing?
We cover testing more on AdWords 302.
Right.
So again, that's moving then on to different things you can do, looking at the goals you've got and how you can align your marketing campaigns to those goals,
Right.
exploring ROI and profitability more. We look at testing, so different things you can do in terms of testing landing pages, which kind of lends itself to the content experiments that you cover in Google Analytics.
Yeah.
But from an AdWords point of view, we look more at a specific tool that's available within AdWords that lets you test campaign changes within AdWords.
Right. Okay.
So it answers questions like, what would be the effect of increasing on my bids by 20%? Is that a good idea or not?
So you can test that scenario before you apply it. Okay, excellent.
And then kind of roll the lessons learned.
AdWords has come a long way since I really need to attend your course because I should be better than I am.
Well, I had an interesting fact the other day from Google. The last 12 months have been 103 changes in AdWords. That's 2 a week.
Yeah, wow.
And there are days when I'm training where I kind of think, what's that? That wasn't there.
That wasn't there a minute ago.
It's constantly evolving.
Constantly changing. The internet is changing so fast, so keeping up is tough. So that's really the 4 days of AdWords. You might also be considering analytics.
Because a lot of people do a couple of days of your course and a couple of days of the AdWords course.
Yeah, and we designed the timetable like that, so you could do 2 days of analytics and 2 days of AdWords effectively.
So if people were doing that, they would be starting on the 101 course for Google Analytics.
Yeah,
what sort of things would they cover on that?
Yeah, we kind of start right at the beginning. We kind of assume it's really good to come with a working Google Analytics account. What I mean by that is you would have tagged your site, be collecting your own data. Really great to come on our courses with your own data for Google Analytics. Yeah. But if you are thinking about using analytics, because you've got something else, then we can give you a test account. But I do think it's very beneficial to come with your own data.
Well, you've got to make more sense of it and understand what's going on. Exactly. It's your own data, your own website.
Yeah, your understanding more, it would be so applicable. But we really start pretty much at the beginning, defining all the terms like bounce rate, metric, page views, bounces, I've said that, visits, visitors, that sort of thing. Understanding those fundamental metrics, that are so important. And then it's been described as a really great tour of the user interface, really understanding how to get data out, how to analyse data and to understand what it effectively means. So that's really day one, really good fundamental course. Great for beginners, also actually great for experienced people. We find a lot of feedback from people saying, well, I've got a lot of experience, but I actually found day one useful because it cemented all my self-taught knowledge into more formal knowledge.
But sometimes people have found a way to actually get some data out, but they don't realise there's other ways you can come at it.
Maybe more efficient, more useful, more revealing. So I think a good test if you don't know what weighted sort is, then you should come on this course. That's a good test that I usually ask for people. Yes. Have a look at that. And then, day two, a little bit more advanced, trying to understand your installation a bit more, trying to see if we can clean it up, improve it with, various things like filtering, profile settings, that sort of thing. Yeah. Beginning to start understanding more complex goal configuration, which is really needed for most people. And then moving on to some advanced analysis techniques like sorting out your things like your brand keywords from your non-brand keywords, understanding that, using advanced segments to do all that sort of thing. Yeah. So 2 days really good fundamental grounding in analytics, really, in Google Analytics. So yeah.
And again, some of that ties back into the AdWords, because once you've got the understanding of the goals, those goals can be imported into Google AdWords. You've got those metrics available there, and understanding your conversions. So
they're like coffee and cream, aren't they? They really are.
Very much hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly. They're the best systems, really. If you're not using analytics to measure AdWords, then there's probably something wrong with you. No, there's something missing, I think, in your marketing strategy. Yeah. And then, the last 2 days, really, advanced days. So it's difficult to attend. You have to attend those days another time. So, they overlap effectively for you and me. Yeah. The last 2 days are, day 3 is much more advanced SEO analysis, paid search analysis, again complementing your stuff, talking about things like remarketing in Google AdWords, but actually remarketing in Google Analytics, so using segments in there. A lot more on social, and also kind of a lot more on traffic, in other words.
So you have multi-channel
We do, the attribution models,
marketing channels.
Understanding the difference in, maybe double-click attribution, looking at Google AdWords attribution, then looking at Google Analytics attribution, and looking at multi-channel funnels and saying how that kind of can help you model some of that behaviour. So yeah, very, very useful. So really useful if you're really into your traffic, if you're really into your SEO, paid search, social media, and then you need to understand some of that attribution and stuff.
And how they all interact with each other.
Exactly, yeah. So quite complementary with the AdWords analytics, relatively advanced, I think. And then the last day for me is technical. So we do coding customizations, setting up how best to set up analytics for the environment that you're in.
Exactly. Whether it's domain tracking with shopping carts.
Exactly. Big business, small business, agency, national brand, international brand. What would be the best way around things? And we also now, let's say, cover Google Tag Manager.
Yes.
So really, as you know, October the 1st came out, fresh tool. Brings some of the IT tagging, the IT work under the control of marketing. So marketing can be evil. So we can get that back from the IT boys.
Trying to kind of reduce some of the lead times to getting some of the changes implemented on the site.
Exactly.
So you can develop and react quicker to changes on your website.
Exactly. And deploy other tags. As great technology comes along, great survey technology, great eye tracking technology.
That's right.
All these
people often think it's just the Google Analytics. You can use it for all sorts of tagging.
Exactly. Anything can be tagged with Google Tag Manager. And as I say, it makes you more responsive as a marketeer. Important for the cookie law as well, both in the UK and in the US, getting control of your tags on your site gets you in control of your cookies realistically, and that's increasingly important in the environment that we're living. So those are the 4 days. And Sharron, what's the best deals to be had on your courses for booking are what exactly?
Yeah, we have various kind of combo deals and special early bird deals.
Right.
So people, is it 25 or 30 days ahead?
It's 30 days ahead usually, and they get 25% off, so on the analytics, and the same on the AdWords, isn't it?
So that's kind of the best prices you can get if you kind of plan ahead
when
you're doing it. If you're not able to do that, we still have some combo deals. So if you're doing multiple days, either on the AdWords courses, the analytics, or both of them, both topics, so there's extra 10% off for booking the combo deals. And then sometimes people just come one day at a time and just build up their knowledge gradually.
Build it up, get some experience, which is both ways equally good. I think it depends on your learning style. If you like to immerse yourself, then go for a good long stint if you can spare that much time. But I think it's very rewarding at the end of it, or you might need to space it out. It's really up to you.
And we try and keep the courses very interactive, don't we? I mean, certainly from AdWords, it's very much hands-on. It's using the product as you're walking away with some campaigns that you could turn on.
That's the action plan. And for me, I make sure that we have an action plan as we go through the course, so that when you go back to the office, it's not, wow, that was a lot of information.
What do I do next?
What do I do next?
You know what to do.
So very important. Make it really practical training course.
And lots of questions. We hate it when people don't ask questions.
It's boring for us, isn't it? We do like people asking questions because surprisingly we are droning on a bit now, but we don't like droning on. We like interacting with people and asking great questions, and we learn so much from other people attending, don't we?
We do. It just makes you think of things from different angles.
Exactly.
Across things that you haven't thought about before.
And we learn a lot from people, don't we? Even though we are the teachers, I think what makes the job interesting for us is learning from other people. New sites they've heard of, great apps they've heard of, great technologies, great systems, great processes, anything like that we find interesting because we are a bit nerdy, to be honest. So we look forward to seeing you. Hope you found this video useful. Lots of information on the website that you're looking at here. Check out all the agendas, the syllabuses. We take a lot of pain to prepare those well and stick to them.
The full detail, the course contents for every day, so you can be sure you pick the dates or the days that are best for you.
Exactly, and the topics that you need. And we look forward to seeing you, and hope to see you in the new year. We're training in London, in Manchester, and Dallas, and possibly some other dates in the US.
Warmer climes,
In warmer climes, exactly. Hopefully, and so hope to see you on the training course in the near future. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.